I got so much drink in me, wonder if you missing me. These days I can't fucking sleep, cause damn, I'm out here living dreams. If I send this text of mine, shawty, is you down to slide? Don't say not tonight, cause you be busy, tell another lie. I done seen this.
This is my desk setup for 2022. Now, I've been making desk setup videos for the last 4 years now. My first one being in 2019, then 2020, 2021, and now it's 2022. Some of them have been changed and evolved over the years. Some of it was in different places. Like, for instance, my first 2 desk setups was at my college at TCNJ, Go Lions. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years since I graduated. And a lot of changes have been made. In 2021, some of the main pieces, as you can see, have stuck around. If you've seen that video last year, probably be a tag up here. But some of the main pieces have stayed, but a lot of additions have been made on and put on the desk, and a lot of things have been thrown away, but made minimalized, made it more clean and more aesthetic and pleasing. And I think it looks nice, and it definitely would be a good idea to go over some of the changes I've made since the last desk setup video from last year. So I guess we can start off with the color scheme itself. The main color scheme is rustic brown or walnut wood. Also, some of the accent pieces are colored in white, gray, or black, and those all combine into the wood desk setup. You know, I love, one of my favorite colors is walnut browns. I love walnut wood. Then the whole aesthetic of it, just the brown, it's very inviting, it's very calming, it's very aesthetic and pleasing. And then having the accent pieces being white and black, the nice white, gray, and black, they're nice neutral colors to supplement the walnut wood or the rustic brown color. So let's move on to the main centerpiece itself. Is the desk. The desk, I believe, is from 1 mil or something like that. All links are going to be down below, directly linked to it, mostly from Amazon, all Amazon products. They're all going to be linked down below. But I love this desk. It's 55 inches across. It's about 23 inches in depth. So there's a lot of space, a lot of things you can put on there. But as you can see with my desk, it's clean and minimal. There's not too many things on there. I only have the essentials that I need on a consistent, hourly, day-to-day basis. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, it has that walnut wood, the rustic brown color aesthetic to it. So it definitely supplemented and definitely envisioned everything it had, everything that I envisioned from the desk. To go along with the desk, I also have a file cabinet that's underneath the desk. It's also in like a walnut wood or rustic brown color scheme, just to fit the whole color scheme. It's just all coming together. And I definitely needed this just to get some of the clutter off my desk. If you remember from the last desk, I definitely had a lot of things that definitely didn't need to be on the desk, and definitely having a lot of papers and files that, even though we're in 2022, it's a lot of digital things that we have, still get the papers here and there. So definitely having the papers, definitely having little knickknacks off the desk and into the file cabinet is definitely essential. The last thing we're going to talk about is the chair. I got this office chair from Amazon, about $100. I thoroughly enjoyed this chair. It has an armrest and also has a headrest, and they already sold me on that. It also has a lean back feature. We could be almost parallel to the ground, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. My last chair that I had didn't have an armrest, didn't have a headrest. Just having those two things alone, thoroughly enjoy this chair. It's nice and comfortable. It doesn't hurt my back. It doesn't hurt me anything. You know, I would love to have a $1,000 Herman Miller chair, but I don't have $1,000 just to dish out a chair. Maybe later down the road, I'm more affluent, but as of right now, I'm sticking with this $100 chair that does the job just right. I guess we go back to peeking underneath the desk. We look at the cable management. As you can see, it's not the greatest of all time, but it's not the most horrible thing you've seen of all time. It's nice and organized. They use a lot of my zip ties and a lot of 3M taping to tape the power strip to the desk frame itself, and then have the zip ties to keep the cables nice and organized. You know, a lot of people like to take a lot of care and time into the cable management, but as long as it looks aesthetically pleasing, it's out of the way, it's not a lot of cables hanging off the floor and stuff like that, I think it looks fine to me. You know, it's not gonna be, like I said, not gonna be the most aesthetically pleasing, but as long as it's not terrible looking where you're just looking like, ooh, dang, you need to do something with that, I think it looks just fine. Let's move on to the lighting. As you see, this giant softbox off to my left is the Godox SO60W with a giant softbox attachment on it with a grid. I mostly use this, as you can see, for my YouTube videos, a lot of the YouTube videos, but also it provides a nice little light onto the desk itself. So I basically don't need like a monitor light bar, because it basically does just that. I can turn the brightness on the light all the way down, and it just brightens up the entire desk with a nice little soft lighting. And then next to the softbox is the Govee LED wall light. I thoroughly enjoyed this light. I got this light around Black Friday of last year. It had a lot of different colors, different effects, rainbow effects. The app itself has like different customized, personalized effects from people from around the world that implement their effects onto it. But what I have on there is that at 5:20 in the afternoon, it turns itself on and throws little orange, and then it slowly brightens up to like 15% orange, and I thoroughly enjoy the aesthetic. It's currently on orange right now, right where it will be at, but it's not 520 right now, as you can probably see on the clock in that corner. But when it is at 520, it turns on by itself and the brightly fills up, and then around 8:30 it turns into a bright white with rainbow color effects going throughout it. I thoroughly enjoy that effect. It kind of like winds down, because usually around 8:30 the sun is already set. It's pretty dark in my room, but having the light automatically turn on to a bright white kind of brightens up the whole room, brightens up the whole desk, and it makes it more inviting to it. The next minor thing I could talk about is this hexagon sound panels right next to the lights. These don't do too much for sound dampening, but it kind of fills in the void. As you can see, I have black walls, so that without the hexagon panels right there, it kind of has like a giant black spot on the wall. So definitely having those impressive fits the color scheme of being gray and white, the secondary colors to my desk, kind of fills in the void of just the blackness of the wall. Now we go into some of the centerpieces of the desk. The main thing powering this whole thing is the Mac Mini. It's the M1 Mac Mini that was released in 2020. Thoroughly enjoy this thing. It cranks through anything it throw at. The 4K videos, the massive photo files, Lightroom, Photoshop. It just cranks all the way through. Anything I throw at, it just cranks it all the way through. I thoroughly enjoy this machine. You know, as of right now, I don't really need an M1 Pro, M1 Max, M1 Ultra, M1 Extreme later down the road. Who knows? For Apple processors, just getting better and better. But the M1 Mac Mini does just fine. Anything I throw at it just absolutely destroys. Maybe down the road I might upgrade into one of those things. But as of right now, I thoroughly enjoy the M1 Mac Mini for my Final Cut editing, for my photo editing, Lightroom, Photoshop. Just everything just fine for me. The monitor is an LG 27-inch monitor. Some serial number, letters, numbers is so much. I don't know why companies have these terrible product numbers, but it's the LG 27-inch monitor. It's a 2K monitor. I would love to get a 4K monitor, maybe a 5K monitor, maybe get an Apple display down the road. But as of right now, I'm still thoroughly enjoying this LG 2K monitor. It's very color accurate, so when I'm editing these videos or the photos for color accuracy, it's very accurate in that aspect. So I already know if when I edit it like this, it's gonna translate into people's other phone screens, computer screens, tablet screens, stuff like that. So photo accuracy is definitely important in my line of work, and it definitely does just that. Like I said, later down the road, I'm probably gonna upgrade to maybe the Apple Studio display, because just the Apple ecosystem, man, it just sucks you in slowly but surely. But either way, I still thoroughly enjoy this monitor, and it does everything just fine for me. Let's move on to some peripherals. I have the Logitech MX Master 3. I know they recently came out with the 3S, but this is the 3. I got this a couple of months ago. I thoroughly enjoy this mouse. It's very ergonomic, fits my hand so well. You know, the last mouse I had was the Appet Magic Mouse. That thing is terrible ergonomics, and then the charging, don't get me started on the charging. That's probably one of Apple's worst design, was the charging alone. But I thoroughly enjoy the MX Master. Just ergonomic, the different buttons. That horizontal scroll wheel for horizontal scrolling is absolutely crucial in Final Cut Pro or whatever video editing programs, but also the additional buttons along the sides, and then the bottom mouse pad of itself, I thoroughly enjoy it. And then for the mouse pad itself, is about a $15 Amazon mouse pad. Like I said, all the links will be down below. It's not a big known brand of it. It's just nice and black. It just kind of supplements the whole aesthetic. Like I said, the secondary colors is black, white, and gray. So definitely the mouse, and then the keyboard is the Apple Magic keyboard. It's the M1 version, so it has the Touch ID fingerprint scanner on it. Maybe we get the Touch ID back on iPhones. I don't know. That's a different kind of discussion. But the Apple Magic keyboard, the Apple Silicon feature with the Touch ID, and then the MX Master 3. Not the 3S, it's the regular 3, and the gray/white color scheme fits in once again. Let's move on to the speakers. These are some Edifier speakers that I got a few months ago. Thoroughly enjoy these. These get very, very loud. I use them to listen to music, editing videos, watching YouTube videos, movies, and stuff like that. I just love these Edifier speakers. They also fit the theme of the colors, because it has a walnut wood or rustic brown color scheme to it, so it fits in very nice into the desk. And I just thoroughly enjoy it, man. From, like I said, listening to music, watching TV shows, movies, YouTube videos. It's very nice and very punchy, and it's very optimal, especially with the controller they can use to change the settings on it. I thoroughly enjoy these speakers. And then above both of those speakers, we have two plants that I stole from my child. Don't tell him that. I stole two plants that sits above them. It's a little greenier to the blackness and the brownness of the darkness of the whole thing, especially with the black walls. It adds a little green touch to it. Some other items on the desk is an Anker wireless charger. I use this to charge my phone on my Nothing Air 1s. As you can see, the Nothing Air 1s is usually in a desk tray that I recently got, a catch-all, as someone say. I definitely enjoy the catch-all just to hold the different knickknacks that I might have on a desk that need to be readily available. Like I said, the Godox SO60W control, or the controller for the speakers, or like an SD card or something like that. So it's nice to have this catch-all just to put little accessories all together and nice and organized. Another thing you probably seen earlier in the video was the Xbox Series S above the storage cabinet. I do game every now and again when I have the time to late at night. Usually when like I said earlier, when the Govia light bars turn to bright white, that's usually when I start gaming. And I definitely thoroughly enjoyed the Series S. It's hard to get the Series. You probably get the Series X now, but when I got the Series S, you couldn't get the Series X. But I thoroughly enjoy that. And that's basically my whole desk setup. Let me down below what you think about it, or what some things you dislike or might like. What things I probably should add. Maybe it might be too clean or too minimal for you. Definitely let me down below. And what something, maybe you can message me or tweet me your desk setup, or somehow then we could compare and contrast our desk setups. Maybe pick knick-knack and see what we can add on to yours or add on to mine. Definitely let me down below what you think about it. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of changes. Maybe later the year I might make another desk setup video, see if anything changed. But I think I'm happy with this desk setup, and I think it might satisfy your needs as well. So if you like the video, please like the video. I got more content like this always coming soon, so please subscribe. Desk setup videos, I love watching them. It's always good to make one of your own. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.